Welcome to Small Biz, Big Wins, your guide to government contracting series. In less than 20 minutes, I am going to cover why the government wants to do business with you in this first installment of 5 videos. So make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe so that you can get the notifications of the other videos and other helpful videos that are to come. So who am I? I am Dr. PJ. I received my doctorate from Texas A&M University. Go Aggies. And I'm also an award-winning advocate for small businesses, especially those that are owned and operated by minority or, like I like to say, marginalized business owners. Also a speaker and an author. So as a former government employee, my job was to help to grow, scale, and help other businesses start, and especially to help them navigate the government procurement process. So I'm taking that and doing that in these videos. So now I'm a business consultant. I'm also a speaker, an author, and an entrepreneur, and I am here to be your government business development strategist. My company is called Cogency. Our mission is to make sure that small businesses have the innovation and capability to compete in government contracting, as well as to help organizations like government agencies, other business support organizations to develop programming to develop the businesses that they serve so that they are also ready for government contracting. So as a business owner, if you're here, I do one-on-one coaching, advising. You can also retain me as a consultant. And I also have a la carte services. So if you need guidance on certification, strategy development to get into government procurement, how to build the capacity of your business, I'm here to do that, as well as from time to time, I will have workshops just like this one to help businesses to grow. And then also, if you're an organization and you're here for this video, I can help you with program development, supplier outreach, help you to build those strategic partnerships to grow your organization so that you can grow your business, as well as to help you to be part of a thriving ecosystem. So I like to get right on into it. Don't want to hold you too long. This is just a preview of the other videos in this series. Next is where to start. Is government contracting worth it? Some of the common entry mistakes that businesses make. And then the last video in the Small Biz Big Wins series is a top entry point for you to get into government procurement. So make sure you check out those other videos because all of these videos are building upon each other. Again, make sure you connect with me. I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram too, but definitely find me on LinkedIn. You can also visit my website if you have any questions or want to set up that one-on-one time. And of course, find me here on YouTube for all these other videos that I have, including the other ones in this series. So let's get started. Government contracts. I want you to understand that government contracts are for small businesses too, not just large businesses. And I hope that you find this video helpful as we get into it. So what I like to do is make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about. What is government contracting? Simple as this. The government does not make a lot of things in order for it to operate. It has to purchase those items. And so sometimes you might hear me say it, or you might hear others say the word procurement. That's all that means, is purchasing. What that means is that you're doing business with the government. You are selling a product or a service to the government. How the government typically works is they know what they want, and then they put out a solicitation to say, this is what we want. All those that think they can provide it for us, submit a bid to us. That's the real thing to know about the government. And then there's 3 levels. And so you'll see here on the slide, we have federal, state, and local. Federal is the top, right, agency. And I want you to see, when we're talking about government contracting, federal agencies spend $773 billion. And because I can't tell you all the states, but if you contact me for the one-on-one, we can go over that. Because I'm in the state of Texas, city of Houston, I'm using them as examples. So the state of Texas spends $35 billion in contracting, as well as the city of Houston spends $2.6 billion in contracting. So these are the budgets of the spend that government has. And they do this with large businesses, but also with small businesses. So what I want to do is make sure that people understand Small businesses, yes, you can do business with the government. So the myth is that only large corporations win contracts. Not true. The government spends money with small businesses, and we'll get into that. But a lot of times they have goals on those contracts that they say that they must spend a certain amount or a certain percentage of that contract with small businesses. That's opportunity for you. Another myth is that government contracts are complex. Not all of them. Some of them, absolutely, but not all of them. There are different contract types. Some don't involve formal bidding. There are some contracts that you can get if you're just a small business owner and you might have just that one thing that they have and you can provide it, and it can be done in a credit card transaction. So not all contracts are complex. There are some simple ones. Another big myth is that a lot of experience is needed to win contracts. On those complex contracts, absolutely yes. But there are entry points for fresh small businesses to enter in to do contract with the government, and then you can grow your business to those complex contracts, which are the larger dollar contracts. So I just want to take this time so we can really understand, is government contracting, is there a space for small businesses? Absolutely yes. So why does the government want to do business with you? It's simple: economic growth. Small businesses are the backbone of a healthy economy. They employ local community members, and that goes directly back into the community. The federal government actually has set asides for small businesses, while state and local governments have diversity and inclusion goals. As we know, those names are changing. But just know, so if you ever hear anything like a minority business enterprise, or that we use a lot of acronyms like MBEs or SBEs, those are the types of certifications that we are talking about for small businesses to get into government contracting. A lot of them are in their policies, and it's rooted back several years to make sure that our small businesses have the same opportunity to get into government contracting on all three levels: local, state, and federal. So, what will a government buy from me? Well, again, they're going to put up solicitations to say, this is what we need. Tell us how you would provide it for us. Tell us how you would execute it for us. So, this is just an example of the broad categories that you see. Of course, construction services and equipment, right? We always know there are roads happening. Yes. Facilities, security services, and products and services, business services and support. That a lot of that is consulting. Concessions, they got to eat. There's food, there's events that they need to purchase for. They're not creating these things. They don't have in-house caterers. They are going out and they are purchasing these. Legal, financial, insurance, real estate, energy, retail, wholesaling, telecommunications, technology, and there's some other categories too. What I always encourage people to think about is a government employee. So if we just take a government employee that everybody I'm sure is familiar with, the police department. Every city has a police department, right? I hope so. And if you break down what that employee needs, so if you have a police officer, what would that police officer need in order to do his or her job? Well, we know they need a uniform. The government is not making those uniforms. They have to purchase those uniforms. That's something that they're buying. As a small business, that could be a large contract, but it could also be an opportunity for you, because we know that the police uniforms have patches. Somebody might need to sew those patches or do the embroidery work on those police uniforms. That's another opportunity for you to work on contracts. That police officer not only has a uniform, but they're in cars. The government is not making their own cars. They have to purchase those cars. Those cars have decal, right? That we see the police on that car. That's what they have to purchase too, because the dealership or wherever they're buying the car from is not necessarily putting the decals. They have to purchase those decals on it. They're writing tickets. They're doing all these different things. So really just look at a government employee like a police officer and break down their needs. They need health insurance. So that means there's an HR department that has to go out and purchase benefits for the government to help this employee. So there are a large gamut of what the government buys. And as small businesses, I can help you to carve out where your niche is so that you can start taking advantage of those contracts that are available. Now, This is the same chart that we saw earlier, but what I did here now is add in their spend with small businesses. So let's start from the bottom. It's always easier to start locally. So if we start, and like I said, I'm in Houston, Texas. So I'm just using Houston, Texas as a city and the state, but you can fill in and look up the information for your particular location if you want to do business with your location. All right, so the city of Houston has a budget of $2.6 billion. Of that $2.6 billion in 2024, these numbers are from the prior fiscal year. They spent $511 million with small businesses. That means they had that much in contracts with small businesses. If we look at the state of Texas, their budget was $35 billion, right, for contracting. $4 billion of that went to small businesses. Federal government, $773 billion, and $176 billion went to small businesses for contracting. So when we say government contracting, is there space for small businesses? Absolutely. You see the numbers right there, and you can see those sources where you can find the report for more information about that spend. Now, I told you I was going to get it done in 20 minutes or less, and I did. So don't let your learning stop here. Make sure you tune in to our next video, which is where to start. Then you want to see, is government contracting really worth it for you? The common entry mistakes and the top 5 entry points. So I hope this was helpful to you in introducing that, to let you know that government contracting is for small businesses. So if you have a small business and provide various products or services, there is an opportunity for you to do business with the government, B2G, and really expand your portfolio so that you just don't have one pipeline of income coming in, but you can have that steady income if you're able to get government contracts. So if you have any questions or you want to set up a one-on-one with me so I can guide you through that process, you can scan that QR code or you can contact me via LinkedIn, check out more YouTube videos, or just send me an email and check out my website. I'll be happy to help you and help you navigate the process.